All right, real quick, take a look. Kill to death ratio 0.245. It went down a little bit since yesterday, or since the last video. Yeah, I know. Deaths count. Bot kills don't. I really don't care about the KD ratio. The only reason I'm using it is I'm trying to use that as a track. Am I getting better or worse at killing people? Yes, I can fly a drone. Yes, I can kill tanks. A lot of tank. There are 2 or 3 tank kills in this video. I just posted a short with me blowing tanks with C4 and RPGs. You know, get your mind out of the gutter, people. And you know, I hear you, right? Yes, I still point the gun down. I'm working on it. Anyways, couple things. First, this is MILSPEC Navy chat. It gets salty. I am voicing my opinion as a veteran, as an ex-naval officer, as an academy grad. You know, my 2 cents real quick. If you've worn the uniform, if you have served, and you disagree with my opinion, I will honor that disagreement, and I'm more than willing to listen to you. If you're some blue-haired liberal freak with a nose ring who gets her panties in a twist at what I'm about to say, and has never been in uniform, I don't care. Your opinion means less than shit to me. Because if you haven't worn a uniform, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're just trying to push your bullshit on the rest of us. And, you can bang away on that keyboard with your, with the Twinkie in your mouth, and I'm just going to ignore it. Because it just doesn't matter. Your opinion doesn't matter because you haven't served. That's probably going to stroke people the wrong way too, but that's the way I see it. It's kind of like that movie Starship Troopers. You got to, you want to have a voice in government, you got to serve. Kind of like that here, right? I'm going to talk about my opinion of women in combat or on ships, and you may or may not like it, and it is what it is. Before I get full swing into that rant, I talked to Hustler. I saw a couple of comments saying, "Hey, get Hustler on here. We want to, see you two, slaying it." He's like, "Well, I've been on a computer all week, and I didn't want to be on a computer all weekend." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Tell the truth, man. It's about the G-string." And he said, "Well, truth be told, she doesn't wear a G-string. She runs around the house with nothing but her socks on." Well, 2 comments on that. 1, it's winter. It's got to be cold. And 2, dude, we're in our late 50s, and I know what I look like in the mirror. I'm not the man I used to be, and I'm not sure I want to be running around the house naked scaring people. So, I'm not saying that that there's an issue here, but unless she's Raquel Welch, there's a good tank kill right there. Unless she's Raquel Welch, the odds are she doesn't look that good. As she used to, 20, 30, 40 years ago. I'm still bugging them to try to get on here and play, but that's today's excuse. Let's see. Okay, so in the comments, I got, by the way, this rant was going to be about honor. My intention was that I was going to talk about honor. By the way, here's some sniper kills. People tell me to be a sniper. Because in my humble opinion, honor is something sorely lacking amongst people, young people in this country, and our politicians in particular. They, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, even though their title says the honorable, they are anything but. To me, you do not lie, steal, or cheat, nor tolerate those who do. In fact, the last job I had, I was an engineer for a very large, big company. And I thought, hey, I'll switch over to the sales role so I can make a few extra bucks, bank it before retirement. And I was told, let's see if I get this right, that they didn't feel I'd make a good salesperson because they didn't feel that I would be able to withhold certain information in order to close a sale. In other words, I would tell everything to the customer and not just what I should be telling them to make a sale. So, that's I got a problem with corporate America when, they are dishonorable like that and want me to lie to a customer to make a sale. So I had to agree with them. Yeah, I wouldn't make a good salesman if you expect me to do that. That was the intent of this rant. I wanted to go off on that. But I got a couple of comments on the last one. I was talking about women on ships. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about women on ships. Go back and listen to the other one. There's sexual politics involved. I on the last video, I went into detail about this young lady who was running a prostitution ring on a carrier. By the way, one thing I didn't add to that was she was banging the captain and the XO. So if you think she wasn't getting favoritism as a result of that, you don't think there's politics involved, you don't think there's a problem with that, you're an idiot. So one of the comments that I got was that this guy, he said every woman in his unit was pregnant, so that they didn't have to deploy. So real quick, for those unknowing, the military, in its infinite wisdom, classifies pregnancy as a temporary condition because in 9 months you're not going to be pregnant anymore. So you don't get replacement bodies, right? The ship, the unit, you don't get replacement bodies if she's pregnant. So when I was in, the Navy had not gone full co-ed, but the auxiliaries, the tenders, the ships that repaired destroyers, repaired submarines, they were pretty much welded to the pier. They almost never went out to sea. But when, I remember this one, it was gearing up for deployment, and two-thirds of the female crew turned up pregnant. So they didn't have to deploy. They didn't want to be gone for, 6 months. So they got pregnant. And, they didn't have to go. By the way, you see that stutter right there? Anybody want to throw me $2,400 to build a new PC so it doesn't do that? I'd appreciate the money. So that's how these women, my body, my rules shit, they play that to their advantage. I don't want to deploy for 6 months, so I'm going to get knocked up and I don't have to go. Well, the problem is you're, okay, plug your ears, kids. That's bullshit. You are fucking every person on that ship. They have to pick up the extra slack. They have to pick up the extra workloads. They have to pick up the extra watches when you're underway, right? Somebody's got to be watching out. Make sure you're not running into shit. That is wrong on so many levels. I can't even begin to explain. Well, the same thing is in other units, not just the ships, right? So, if women are in a combat unit or in any unit, right, and they're deploying, she can get pregnant. She doesn't have to go, and the guys have to carry the load for her, and that ain't right. The other thing is that I'm losing my train of thought, man. I was really on a roll. The sexual politics involved, the prostitution rings, you're distracting the men. The men are going to play favorites. They are going to, try to, screw their buddy over because they think they have a shot, with her, and they want to get him out of the picture. All that shit needs to go away. The other thing this is what I was originally going to say. The average combat load. Now, I never deployed as a ground pounder. I did toy with the idea of being a Navy SEAL, but other things got in the way. That's another story. But the average load, combat load, is like 100 pounds. By the time you put the armor plates on, the helmets, the ammo, the guns, the extra food, the medical equipment, add it all up, it's like 100 pounds. So these, there's some videos out there. It's really fascinating. These guys like strapping all this equipment on themselves before they jump out of a helicopter or out of a plane, and it's incredible. Hats off to you guys. I know for a fact, my wife can't pick up 100 pounds. She can't do it. My daughter can't pick up 100 pounds. She can't do it. Now, are there women out there? Yeah, well, they look like men anyways. But, the vast majority of women cannot carry that load. So who does, right? You still need it. So, if a woman is going into combat and she can't carry, the equipment, well, her share gets passed around to all the guys. And then the guys have to hump that equipment. And that ain't right either, right? That's extra work they got to carry. That's extra weight they have to pack. That's extra exhaustion they have to contend with. It slows them down. It hurts the combat effectiveness of the unit. So, there's a reason why there's never been a female Navy SEAL. Because God bless them, the Navy has never softened. Right, by the way, infrared right there through smoke. That's really cool. The Navy has never softened the requirements for the Navy SEALs. And the women, 99.99999% of them cannot do the physical activities of a man. And the Navy SEALs are not, they refuse to compromise. God bless them. I hope they stick to their guns. So, and by the way, real quick, I want to touch on this real quick also. There are 4 types of men in this world. There are the alphas. The alphas are the leaders. They're the ones who run to the gunfire. They're the ones that, throw themselves on top of a grenade to save their buddies. They're the ones who push their wives and children behind them and stand between them and harm's way. They drink their coffee black. They go to bed and their backs hurt because they've been working all day. They are what the libs call toxically masculine. They are the ones who built this country. They are the ones who keep it safe. God bless every one of them. Then there are the betas. The betas are the ones who I'll drink milk and sugar in my coffee, and I'm just going to sit back and watch the alphas take the heat. I'll fight if I have to, but I really don't want to. I'd rather, type on a keyboard with Cheetos, Cheeto stains fingers and mouth. Then there's the gammas. I'm going by Greek alphabet. People learn, go back to the library. Greek alphabet, alpha, beta, gamma, delta. There's no C. The gammas, they're the soy boys, right? They're the ones wearing the skinny pants. They're the ones with the, stupid looking hair. They're the ones with the ducks in the window of their Jeep. By the way, any Jeep owners out there? My wife has a friend, and she is married to a gamma. She posted a picture on Facebook for Halloween where she was Batman and he was Robin. I looked my wife dead in the eye and said, there's no way in hell you would ever get me to be Robin to your Batman. Yeah, I'd be Superman. I'd be Green Lantern. But he will never get me to be your sidekick. Not like that. The man has no self-respect. So those are the gammas. Then you got the deltas. The deltas are the freaks that wear wigs and dresses and run around going, look at me, I can sing and dance. The gammas and the deltas have no place in the military. I'm sorry, it's not a social experiment. The military's job is to kill people and break things, not sing It's Raining Men and look at how well I put on my mascara. So that's Eric's opinion of the world. Take it for what it's worth, right? Like I said, if you're some soy boy or woman who has never served, never strapped on a uniform, keep your opinion to yourself, because buddy, I ain't gonna read it, and that's one that I don't care. You will never change my mind on it. To the sailors, soldiers, and Marines that are watching this, God bless every one of you. You know, I pray to God every night that you come home safe and sound. And I thank you for your selfless sacrifice. I know how rough it is. I know how rough it is to be away from family. And I honor you. God bless you. So, there it is. You guys wanted salty. I gave you salty. Next time, I'm telling you, I want to do the one on honor because, you know, there's kids today don't understand what the hell honor is. And there's politicians that sure as hell don't either. Like, there's a certain governor now in I think it's Jersey who broke the honor code at Annapolis. I got a problem with her. You don't break honor codes. She wouldn't get my vote just because of that. So, anyways, there's the rant. Thank you so much. I'm honored and humbled that you guys enjoy my content. You know, keep sending the comments. I'll keep reading them. Anyways, I thank you. I thank you so much. Anyways, that's it. I've been going 1.5 rounds on my video, so that's about 15 minutes. Anyways, this is Muad'Dib out.